Well, we got a lot of new stills for Deadpool and Wolverine, and we might have actually gotten a confirmed cameo of a classic Marvel character. We've been talking about the Daywalker quite a bit in the return of Blade in the MCU, and it seems he appeared on screen for the first time. Just not how you think. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about the latest screen caps from Deadpool and Wolverine, the version of Blade that appears, and why this kind of speaks to some issues of the past. Let's dive in. Now before we do that though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos. We want to make sure you get all the superhero news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you are in the know. Well, earlier today we got a bit of a surprise. A whole bunch of new Deadpool and Wolverine stills were dropped, and we got some new looks at the upcoming movie. Now, it didn't take long for fans to start to dissect these pictures, and very quickly we started noticing some characters in the background. Now, one of these shots appears to be Juggernaut, but we can't quite make out if that's Vinnie Jones in the suit. We also got a quick glimpse of Toad, who was clearly the same version of the character from the very first X-Men movie. But then fans spotted another character, and this caught us a bit off guard. Now, if you look just behind Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, there standing in all his glory is the Daywalker himself, Blade. Now, this isn't the Wesley Snipes version of Blade. This is actually the version of Blade from the 2006 television series played by Sticky Fingers. Now, the show itself actually takes off from the events of Blade Trinity, and only lasted 13 episodes and ran on Spike. David Goyer spearheaded the show, and it actually featured music from future Game of Thrones composer Ramin Djawadi. Now, to be fair, this hasn't been confirmed as of yet, but when you take a look at the picture and the version of Blade from the television show, wow, do they look alike. Now, the fact that this version of Blade is appearing in this movie has a lot of fans talking, and some people are simply pointing to the idea that Ryan Reynolds actually hates Wesley Snipes. Apparently, on the set of the third Blade movie, there were a lot of problems, and quite honestly, guys, I can't substantiate any of this, but the reports are very widespread, and they're not very favorable to Wesley Snipes. Now, obviously, a lot could have been going on behind the scenes we don't know about, but it seems like there is a bad relationship here, and the fact that Reynolds went with this version of Blade, well, quite honestly, guys, it definitely carries some weight. Now, as for this version of Blade, I don't think he has any future in the MCU. Now, we do know the Mahershala Ali movie is still moving forward despite all the problems that exist there, but technically, this will be the first appearance of Blade in an MCU project. He did lend his voice at the very end of the Eternals, but we never saw Ali suited up, so it appears the 2006 version played by Sticky, well, that's going to be the one to make the premiere. Now, I know some people might have wanted to see Wesley Snipes return in this film, but it's pretty clear to me now he's probably not. The fact that they did cast this other version also speaks a lot to the relationship. That's kind of a bummer, and I think Snipes' time as Blade is pretty much completely done, but I think fans would have liked to have seen him return, even in a small cameo for this movie, and it would have been a nice send-off to a franchise that really should get a lot of credit for the modern superhero genre. We're just over a month from Deadpool and Wolverine. I think it's going to be the superhero event of the year. Its opening weekend looks to be massive. It's getting a China release, and I think this movie might end up being the biggest of 2024, but we're going to have to wait and see.